This is neem oil. It is the go-to for gardeners, organic or otherwise, to treat many things in your garden. Does it work? Well, short answer is yes. But there's more to it. In this video, we are going to go through how to use it, what it's used for, and the unexpected dark sides of neem oil. The first thing you need to know about neem oil is it is a natural product. It comes from a tree called the neem tree. You have two completely different ways of extracting the oil. One is chemical, and the other is by pressing. Now, this particular one happens to be an extract. The extracts are from a chemical process. They use a solvent to remove the neem oil from leaves, branches, or seeds, which in this case happens to be a nut. There's nothing wrong with the product itself. Second is the fact that you can actually take the nuts and press them just like you would olives. Cold press would be best, but they don't necessarily cold press all of them. So when you're looking for a neem product, you kind of got to decide on which way you want to go there. Now, I got this particular bottle almost 5 years ago. It was the only brand I could get locally. Now, it's not a very big bottle, and I've used it a decent amount. I've still got about a quarter of a bottle left, which means I actually have enough for at least this season, possibly next season. So little goes a long way. Mixing neem is really simple. Take your neem, and it's 1 tablespoon. In this case, this cap is 1 tablespoon. 1 tablespoon per gallon of water. Now, if you want, you can add Dawn. This is an emulsifier for this case and spreads it out. I don't always do this. It's not necessary, but it does help. The measurement is the same. 1 tablespoon per gallon. Then put your lid on. Give it a good shake, and you can go ahead and put it in a spray bottle. I like to use this type of spray bottle, but you can use a pump up sprayer or a backpack sprayer. They work fine. I just found, because I use so little of this, that I like to use this little bottle here like this. Now, I don't need a whole lot for what I'm doing today. That'll be more than enough for what I need it for. And then I have a whole gallon, well, almost a gallon of it to use throughout the season. and it's better for your system if than, like, say, a hard copper fungicide. But this is a gentler way of going about it. Now, that being said, there are problems, and we'll get into those problems here in a little while. What it's used for is insects, mites, aphids, mealybugs, to a lesser extent caterpillars, and it works very well on them. It's also a fungicide, so if you have rust or powdery mildew or any number of fungus issues, you can spray down your tree or your plant and take care of it. It works very well. Now, I've been having a bit of an aphid problem here. These aphids are actually farmed by ants. I'm going to get rid of them today. Now, I've had a lot of ladybugs on here. These ants are capable of throwing the ladybugs, so I'm going to go ahead and take care of it. Now, that doesn't kill the ants. It does kill the aphids, but the ants really don't like it, and they'll just outright jump off the tree to get away from it. When they come back and all the aphids are dead, they'll go somewhere else. And like I said at the beginning, it works. It works very well. It's not an end-all. And that's the thing. It has problems, and those problems are because it's overused. So, what are those problems? What is the dark side of using neem oil? Well, that really breaks down to just a handful of things, but it's a broad spectrum problem. So even though it's a handful of things, it is much larger than people think it is. First is the sheer overuse of it. It's being severely overused in the home garden. It's being overused in the marijuana market and the hemp market. It's being overused in the organic farming. Now, each one of these is causing their own individual problems. So, I'll tell you a little bit of a story here. Now, I know a gentleman that he's all into organic gardening. He never took it any further than organic gardening. In his mind, organic gardening is the best you can possibly do. He has a lovely garden. He spends probably 40 hours a week gardening, pulling weeds, taking care of any problems. It's a gorgeous property. Once a week, he takes this exact brand, because this is what we can get easily, locally, at a reasonable price, and he makes a gallon of it. He sprays everything. He sprays his entire yard. Every leaf, every plant, every nook and cranny. You can smell the neem for blocks. He uses that whole gallon one time, everywhere. A couple of years ago, this ended up being a serious problem for him. One, he gave himself neem poisoning. Yes, that's a thing. Two, he had a rise of funguses and insects that were completely immune to neem oil. They marched through his garden and they decimated everything. And I mean everything. Now, he has no choice but to use harder chemical alternatives because he massively overdid it. Now, I've seen similar practices in the organic gardening all over the place. I've seen it in the organic farming. They spray everything. Just like a traditional farmer, or what they call a traditional farmer, that goes through and sprays his fields with your normal pesticides, Roundup, and all the good stuff that we're trying to avoid. A lot of the organic farms are doing the same thing, but with Neem and with a few other products. Those bugs and those funguses that they are creating that are immune to it are spreading. This is going to be a problem for a lot of organic gardeners. And it's just because they're simply overusing it. Massively overusing it. But I mentioned neem poisoning. Most people don't know what that is or what the symptoms are. And it can happen in your organic garden. But there is a industry that is happening a lot more in. And that is the new up and emerging marijuana industry and hemp industry. This is becoming a problem. Now, it's people that are growing the marijuana for edibles or for people to smoke that they're getting at the new legal smoke shops. They don't want there to be chemicals in their products. They want it to be organic. They want it to be safe. Neem is considered organic and safe. So they're using it in their gardens. They're spraying the hemp with it. They're spraying the marijuana with it. The buds end up being turned into various different products. Edibles, smokables, the whole 9 yards. And there have been quite a few cases that have been reported, and a lot more cases that haven't been. Because when you go to the doctor or you go to the hospital after consuming these products and these symptoms are coming forth, the doctors, and they're going to take blood and they're going to take samples and they're going to try to figure out what's wrong with you. And there's no test for neem poisoning. It doesn't show up in a normal tox screen. It's not something they're looking for. So very few doctors have actually caught on to this situation. And it's a pretty bad one. Now, what you have and what is going on, and this is a really dark side, is people will have neem poisoning. It's usually in the form of smokables, sometimes it's edibles. The symptoms are severe vomiting, especially in the morning, nausea, headaches, just feeling like you've got the flu. As soon as you quit using the marijuana product, the symptom goes away. Might be a couple months down the road, starting to have anxiety problems, or the reason why you were using the marijuana product in the first place. You get some more of those products, and it comes back, and it comes back very, very acutely. Every time you're exposed that way, it becomes more and more acute, more and more intense. And this is a problem. A lot of people have no idea this is going on. It's safe if used appropriately. Don't spray things that you intend on smoking. In the marijuana industry, they don't rinse the buds because that would destroy the THC crystals. They don't want to do that. Just use it sparingly. Keep line that you can have neem poisoning. Now, the chances of you being killed by neem poisoning, as far as I know, that hasn't happened. But I wouldn't want to take this bottle and drink it just to find out. Use it sparingly. Use it when you have no other choice. When you're looking at a pest in your garden, maybe start off with something a little less harsh. Thanks for watching. You have a great day. Just remember, moderation. It's the key to just about everything, including neem oil.